E, so I'm trying this whole no falsies thing. What do we think? I asked you guys to ask me questions on Twitter and Instagram, and you did. Now I'm gonna answer them. There's 54, so probably get a snack or something. First, I can't say some of your guys' names because you just have too many symbols and too many letters that don't go together. So I'm just gonna read the questions. Will we ever see the boy? I don't know yet. I'm still working through it. How did you get so damn beautiful, wife? That was from Cheyenne. You know, Jesus did me a solid. So, how did my interviews go? My interviews went exceptionally well. Very, very well. You're moving soon. Any chance that you're moving to California? Maybe. Things are just very undecided in my life. There's a possibility I could be moving to California in a few months, but depending on my job situation, I may be in Austin a little bit longer. My heart tells me I need to be in Austin for at least another year until my little sister graduates. So for now, let's say I'm going to be in Austin for at least one more year. Living plantfully. That was from Hey Khalees, and this one's from Living Plantfully. Hey E, I'm Emily, aka Living Plantfully. I started a YouTube channel over a year ago. Any advice on growing my channel and inspiring more people? Just continue to be yourself. And everyone, check out Living Plantfully. What natural remedies do you have for headaches? Drink lots of water. I feel like anytime that I have a headache, it's more than likely that I'm dehydrated or that I'm stressed. So one, evaluate your environment. Are you stressed about something? Do you need to unwind? Do you need to just take a breather? And two, how much water have you drinking in like the past week? Not just that day, like the full week. How much water have you drinking? That usually gets my headache gone. Hydrating. What country do you want to visit? Well, a place that I want to visit is Thailand. It's so beautiful. I love the amount of elephant sanctuaries there. I know some of them are not true sanctuaries, but there are some true elephant sanctuaries there where you can like spend the night and help, and they require you to stay for a few days so that it's not like a touristy type thingy. You have to like be there, clean up poop. Then maybe you can get near the beautiful, magnificent beings. And people call me an elephant all the time, so it's basically being amongst family. Laurel Homer, is that your name? Says, what is your favorite unhealthy junk food or vegan food? P.S. I love you. My favorite unhealthy vegan food. I never have it because I actually don't know where their food truck is right now, but there's this place in Austin called Fire and Soul. They have this giant, it's like this big. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna do that with my hands again. It's a spicy vegan corn dog. So they make this like spicy cornbread, dip the dog in there, and then fry it. That thing is good. I've only had it twice since I've been vegan, so in almost 5 years, but it's good. And P.S. I love you too. Favorite ATX vegan restaurant? Funny. I really like Arlo's, but it gives me indigestion. I like Veggie Haven. It's like a full vegan Chinese Asian restaurant. It's really good. I love Arlo's. What other full vegan places do I like? I like a lot of places here that have vegan options, but those are probably like my favorite vegan places. How do you handle a bad breakup? I love you so much, by the way. I love you so much more. You know, you just have to go through it, and there's no like secret trick. You have to be sad. You have to deal with your emotions. I've been through some breakups where I've completely avoided my emotions, and it was definitely like a downhill spiral because of that. So really deal with your emotions. Surround yourself with people that know you and people that knew you before your breakup, because I feel like they kind of help you get back a sense of self. And just look at what exactly went wrong, how you can do better, or how you can do better or do better for yourself in the future. And I think those are the best ways to get over a breakup. And the next question says, have you always felt confident in yourself, or was it something you worked towards? If you worked towards it, what helped you get there? Either way, you're beautiful and I love all of the content you create. Thank you very much. I grew up in a very supportive environment, so I was always very confident. I always did a lot of sports. I was like 250 pounds as a cheerleader, and I still like tumbled, and I was competitive level cheerleader. So I've always been very confident in my ability, and I think the thing that helped me be confident was exactly that. Ability. My confidence didn't come from like my body or my looks. It came from the things that I was capable of, and knowing that you're capable and valuable outside of your body is something that I think is very important to this day. But that being said, I did lose confidence once I moved to Texas alone. And then that was a point in my life where I realized that for all of my childhood, when I thought I was super confident because I had been raised up that way, I was really confident because I had constant reassurance. So once I lost that constant reassurance and people telling me that I was great and that I was beautiful and that I was talented, I had to find it by myself. And for me, it came from a lot of self-realization and getting back to a point where I found my value outside of what I looked like. I found my value in taking dance and being really capable in dance class, being promoted, knowing that I was smart. So it's more about the value that you have than your outside body. I hope that makes sense. Sun Creativity says, when are you moving to LA, and how did you find your management team group? That was an alert to record the podcast, but I already did it. I answered that a little bit ago, so maybe in the next couple of years, as early as this summer, as late as next year. And how did I find my management group team? I grew up in a family where there were people who were already signed to record labels and things. So when people ask me for advice, I feel a little bit guilty because I kind of just like fell into it because of the people I was surrounded with. So I don't really have good advice on that. I'm sorry. The next question, how long have the boy and you been dating, and is it serious? I'll talk about this later, okay? I can't right now. Is there any food you truly miss being vegan? I miss buffalo chicken strips from Costco. That's my only thing. Yes, I've talked about this before, but I don't miss it as much anymore. Shrimp, I love shrimp, and yogurt. Those were my two things, and I don't really miss them. Those are just the things that I liked the most. Thanks to Kite Hill, I don't miss yogurt at all anymore because they have the yogurt game down, and I found vegan shrimp too, so now I'm completely fulfilled. How do you stay true to yourself in the hardest of times? Love you, by the way. It takes a lot of hard work, and for me, being true to myself is always harder than taking the easy way out. So what I do is I try to think about what the outcome will be if I choose to stray from the path that is traditionally mine. So if I do the thing that is wrong and not true to myself, I think of what the outcome will be. If I'm gonna regret it down the line, if I take the shortcut, is it all gonna come tumbling down? And usually the answer is yes. The answer is, this is really gonna screw things up, and it's not gonna end up the way that you want it to, even if it temporarily gets you there. So thinking of the outcome and the long-term effects on my decisions really helps me stay true to myself. What is your favorite makeup brand? Hourglass. I love Hourglass Cosmetics so much. What is your favorite type of music to work out to? I like house music, and I like gangster rap music. Those are my two workout. I need like a really hard beat or a really like bouncy beat. So for cardio, more of a bouncy house type of beat, and for like weights or the Stairmaster which is cardio too, but it's like a slower type thing. I like hard beats, like, you know, gangster rap. How do you deal with stressful times? I just breathe through it. I know that especially like at work, I get so wound up, and if I just take a breath, it helps you think and recollect your thoughts. Every problem can be solved one breath at a time. The next question is, how long did it take you to transition to veganism? Was it overnight, gradual? Advice for new vegans? So for me, it was, okay, I consider mine overnight because I was pescatarian prior to going vegan. So for me, fish is still meat. So I was still eating meat right before I went vegan. But it was easier for me because I had been vegetarian many times in my life before I went vegan. So it wasn't like a big, huge step for me, because really I cut out fish and then I cut out dairy and eggs. So for me, it wasn't like a big thing. But advice, I do think that you should take it gradual, because when you jump all in, it can be overwhelming. So I suggest like having a meatless meal per day so that you can experiment with recipes, and then eventually you start to add in more meatless meals per week, because that way you can kind of find out what you like, find out what you don't like, test vegan products. It's not all at once and then you're testing these vegan products and you're like, all of this stuff is horrible, I don't like it. If you're doing it gradual and kind of testing things here or there, then you kind of get like a checklist of, I like this brand of vegan meats, I like this tofu the best, I like this tofu dish the best. And then you kind of have like an arsenal for when you actually do go vegan. It's not so, I don't know, just so much. What is your skincare routine? I love your positivity and energy, by the way. It's right there. You can see my morning skincare routine, and I have a PM one coming very soon. Favorite form of potato? Tot. I love a tater tot. Tater tots are the best form of potato. I do like a waffle fry though. But I just feel like tater tots are under-recognized, so we're gonna stick with tots. Do you believe in marriage? I do believe in the holy union. I do believe in marriage. I didn't always. That's kind of a really long story, but at this point in life, I do believe in marriage. What do you find the most attractive trait in a man? I love a nice smile and nice lips in a man. I like a nice set of boobies on a girl. All right, next one is Eden. I love you. I love you. How do you keep yourself from not getting burnt out from work during the week? I desperately need some tips, LOL. So, I don't know if there's a secret. You just get burnt out, especially if it's not a job that you love. So if you find yourself constantly, constantly burnt out and not wanting to go to work and feeling exhausted, maybe you need a new job. It's natural to have career changes throughout your life, and you should have a job that I feel like that you like at least 50% of the time. Like, I feel like that's good. You shouldn't like work all of the time. You can, but like, work is work. Sometimes you're just gonna dislike it, but if you like work 50% of the time, I feel like you won't get burnt out quite as much. And also thinking of it logically, like, I'm getting paid to be here. So this is affording me to have a great house to live in, the car I drive, to do the things that I really love when I'm outside of this place. So take some appreciation for the job, and I think that helps you not be so burnt out and gives you a little bit of motivation knowing that it's funding your real dreams. The next question is from Courtney Lynn. I know I'm not saying all of the names, but some of them are easier to say than others. Our thoughts on vegetarians. I know vegans who hate vegetarians more than anything else because they won't commit. So I was curious. I don't think that veganism or vegetarianism is a commitment, so I would not dislike vegetarians for that reason. I empathize and understand vegetarians, I think, more than most vegans might, because I've been vegetarian for a very long time. I can understand why some vegans are so upset, and I think it mostly lies in the dairy industry, how bad it is, and that eggs and chickens aren't really protected under animal protection because they're fowl and birds, not animals. And I mean, you've seen the conditions, they're bad, but as a vegetarian, I didn't really think of those things. I just thought, I'm not eating meat, so I'm doing good. I guess my view is vegetarians, their hearts are in the right place. The next question is, did you ever have an unhealthy relationship with food? Were you an emotional eater? If so, how did you overcome? So I have said in the past that I have a pretty healthy relationship with food now. Have I always? No, I wouldn't call myself an emotional eater, but I definitely in past times have been a stress eater, like snacking at my desk and things like that when I've already eaten. And how I overcame it was actually with fitness. And recently I went through like a little, like around the holidays, a bit of stress eating. And the most important thing to overcome it is to recognize that you're doing it. And once I did, I stopped. And the way that I stopped was I knew I was eating because I was stressed out and because I didn't feel in control. So what I started doing, and I still have been doing it, when I get home, take off my clothes, I put on my workout clothes, and I go for a walk. That helps me de-stress and get all of my stress out. So then I don't come home feeling all pent up and like stressed and start eating. And I do the same thing at work. If I feel overloaded, I get up, I take a deep breath, and I take myself for a walk around the block. That's something that always helps me, is just to find a way to either de-stress or to deal with your emotions versus eating them. Nika May says, could you name a song that speaks so much to you for any reason at all and explain the reason? Mine are always worship songs, so I'm so boring, but it's called Greater You Lord. And it's because there's this one line in it that says, it's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. And like, I try to think about that anytime that my mind isn't in the right place. It's like, it's God's breath in your lungs. So you need to be thankful and you need to do the right things. So that song, it just does something to me, to the feels, every single time. I just start bawling. What inspired you to start YouTube? I started YouTube as a musician. I did cover songs on YouTube all of the time. And my channel has evolved many of times over the years. This is, I think, my third or fourth YouTube channel. Third YouTube channel. So I started doing covers because I wanted to share my music. Then I moved more into writing. So yeah. No questions for me. I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful and inspiring. My daughter and I adore you and look forward to every video, so keep them coming. I will. Thank you. And I love you and your daughter, and I'm glad that you guys have made it a family affair, because family is the most important thing. By the way, I'm not avoiding the questions about the boy for any reason other than, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have to be honest in some way. So obviously when I'm in Dallas and I'm at his house vlogging, I'm not going to say that I'm somewhere else, but I'm still teetering on how much I want to share. So TBD on all of the boy questions. The next question, are you still vegan? Are you moving back to Colorado? Absolutely not. Not in this lifetime, at least. The next question is, would you ever consider writing a little eating cookbook with your favorite vegan recipes you've made? Love you. I love you more. You know, so here's the thing. That sounds like a lot of work, and I already have a really busy job. So there are all these things that I would like to do and that you guys asked for me to do, and video ideas that have been in my notes for months, but my videos are so long form, I can't film during the week. I just can't. And I don't know, maybe sometime down the line I'll do it. I just don't have the time right now. The amount of time that it takes to test recipes, because I don't measure, so I just cook out of my head. The amount it takes to test recipes and make sure that they'll actually be good and get the actual like measurements for everything, it's a lot, and I just, with my corporate job, I don't have the time to do that. But I would love to at some point way in the future. Next question. Why did you take out your nose ring? So I took it out for a facial, and then I kind of forgot to put it back in. And the hoop, I had kind of distorted it a little bit getting it out because it's kind of hard to get out. And I meant to order a new one, and then I kind of forgot. So I need to go see if it's still open. Advice on eating a healthier vegetarian diet while still having a busy work schedule. Also, how do you find the right foundation that matches your skin? Having a difficult time finding my exact shade. Thank you, Eden. Been watching your videos from the time when you were recording in your old kitchen. Love you. So to have meal ideas ready. I don't really meal prep, but I have ideas that I know. I know that I love pasta salad with red lentil, brown rice, or chickpea pasta. I know that I love taco bowls. I know that I love to make sushi. So like have your top 5 list of things that you like to cook, and then just rotate them throughout the weeks. I'm guilty of forgetting to eat and not eating until I get off of work, which is really bad. So I probably shouldn't give you advice. But then when I do come home, I have at least an idea of what I'm going to cook. And what else did you say? Finding your foundation shade. I'm pretty good at matching myself, but if you're not, just ask the store, because Ulta and Sephora will both shade match you. And then I feel like their shades are always 1 shade over or 1 shade under, but at least it gives you an idea. And then get, like, when you, after they match you, ask for all 3 shades. So ask for the one they matched you with, the one before, and then the one after. And then usually you can find your shade and see which one looks the best on you within those 3 shades. Why do you hate the word bisexual? I've already explained that. So meat is delicious. How do you not eat it? Every time I try vegan, I relapse every few weeks. Then I feel bad. And since I'm an emotional eater, I eat more meat. What was your process? Was it cold turkey or gradually? It was pretty cold turkey for me, but I also have a deeper connection to veganism than food. Like, I can find food that tastes good that doesn't come at the expense of an animal. So I am too emotionally connected to veganism and the effect of what happens if I choose not to eat vegan, to cheat or to like relapse or whatever it is. So I think finding a deeper connection is always a good thing, because like I said, I've stress ate and it doesn't cause me to eat animal products, it just causes me to eat too much popcorn. But I do think that there are ways that you could get deeper connected with veganism so that it's not an option for you. Advice on starting a YouTube channel. I want to start one, but I'm nervous. It will be really crappy and no one will watch it. So the good thing about starting a YouTube channel is no one will watch it for the beginning. So it gives you time to get comfortable on camera, to figure out what your niche is and what kind of videos you want to make, and get practice editing. So the most important part about starting a YouTube channel is just starting and not thinking about it. So start it. Realize that even if it's not the best video to begin with, you're only, in most cases, unless you're the exception, in most cases you're only going to get a few views to start with. So those are your practice videos, and you get to start to build your identity before your channel does take off. Do you think you will ever leave your corporate job for YouTube? I have a corporate career too, but I started my YouTube because I love to cook, and now I'm vegan, so it's an adventure and a journey, and and I would love to quit my corporate job one day. Please share your thoughts. So for me, that's not an option currently. I do make a decent amount of money on YouTube, thanks to sponsors, and I am pretty advertiser friendly. Sometimes I do have to submit claims. I'd say every other video I have to submit a claim, but when I break it down, it's not worth it for me yet. So although I do make enough money on YouTube to probably pay my bills, I don't make enough money to have insurance for myself and pay my bills and to save 30% to pay for taxes. So you have to think of all of that stuff. The self-employment tax, at least in Texas, is 30%. Having insurance. So I'm going to turn my phone off now, sorry. Those are all things that you have to think about too, not just am I making enough to cover my bills right now from your flat rate checks, because you still got to pay the government and stuff. So sure, maybe at some point, but I don't think it would just be for YouTube. I'd have to like go back to radio or have an online shop or something, because I do like business, and while YouTube is a business as well, I feel like I would have to have something more in order to leave my corporate job and financial stability. Do you ever get self-conscious about your body and its flaws? And what is the mental process you go through to be confident and fight past it? Yes, I do. Actually, the last time I was in California, one of my bikini bottoms was super low rise, and I was like finding myself like covering my stomach a little bit. And the first thing is, you don't have to be like half naked to be confident, so find clothes that make you feel confident, and if you, the things that you consider flaws, you can cover them to make yourself feel more comfortable and confident. I've been talking for a really long time, sorry, I'm like slurring. And also, I like to think, like I said, I like to think long term, what will the outcome be? If I let my insecurities get in the way, am I living the best life possible? If I let my insecurities about my bathing suit make me put on a sweater, am I gonna regret sitting on the beach sweating miserable because I had on a sweater? Yeah, I'm gonna regret that I didn't go out and enjoy the ocean and enjoy my friends because I was being self-conscious about my body. So I like to think, again, am I gonna regret the decisions that I'm making because of my insecurities? I love your videos and you inspire the fudge out of me. Can we be friends? That's my question. Absolutely. We can be friends. Make your way on down to Austin, and then once I meander on to somewhere else, you follow with, and we will be friends. Why do you hate the word bisexual? So I explained this in another video, but I grew up around lots of gay cousins, and we called them all gay, even though there were guys that were gay, there were girls that were gay, there were girls that dated guys and girls. There wasn't a huge LGBT community. It was just like lesbian, gay. There was nothing really in between at that time. And I remember sitting in the backseat when I was really little, and one of my other cousins talking to my mom and saying, Ty is dating a guy now, which Ty is a girl. They're like, she's dating a guy now. And my cousin goes, she's kind of gay. And my mom goes, if you eat a coochie, you're gay. So in my mind, that just stuck. Like, even though she was dating a guy now, if you ever date a girl, you're gay. So in my brain, it was just, you're gay if you date a girl. Even if you go back to dating a guy, you're gay. I know that there's ways that people like to identify. I don't choose to identify as bisexual. I just don't. If you could choose any career and income wasn't a factor, what would you choose? I would be a worship leader. I would, and it's not really if income wasn't a factor, it would be if judgment weren't a factor. I would be a worship leader. I have tried to be a worship leader at my church, but my YouTube presence was not satisfactory for my churches. And that's unfortunate, but above all things, I would want to be a worship leader or a music manager, a talent manager. I would love to be a talent and tour manager, probably. Why does Nicole stay with your parents? I am a fairly new subscriber, so if it's already been answered somewhere, sorry, I had like a hiccup or something. So Nicole is my dog. I bought her when I was 19 years old, and yes, I bought her. I grew up in a town where I'd never even heard of a shelter. All I knew was that Paris Hilton had a Chihuahua, and I wanted a Chihuahua. So when I moved to Texas, I looked in the newspaper and I circled the cheapest one and I went and got her. So if I get another dog, obviously I'll adopt. So Nicole lives with my parents at this current moment because my roommate's dog is very dog aggressive. My roommate has another dog as well, but she doesn't live with us either. She's a Schnauzer Yorkie mix, and Ellie almost ripped her to shreds once, and Sarah had to rush her to the emergency vet in the middle of the night. So if I lived in this house without Sarah, Nicole would live here. The reason Nicole didn't live at my last apartment was because I had just gotten my new position and I was working 70 or 80 hours per week. And my parents are really protective over Nicole, and they didn't like the fact that she was at home by herself that long. I would come home sometimes and she would be gone because my parents would stop on their way from work, pick up Nicole and take her home because they didn't want her to be alone by herself. While I was in college, Nicole and I both lived in my parents' house. I lived in the dorms for a little bit, but I lived at my parents' house, so she's very familiar with my family. We lived there for, I guess, close to 4 years. So when I did finally move into my apartment, my old one, it was kind of weird for her anyways. She didn't really like to go outside. She's getting older, so she can't go on as long of walks as she once could. I could tell that she kind of missed just going outside to her yard, and that had kind of come her routine over the past 4 years that we had been at home with my parents. So it's just a good place for her that now. She has Bella, my sister, lots of people that love her. I see her once a week, sometimes more often. If I do move like across country, more than likely I'll bring Nicole and Bella with me because we don't want to separate them. And yeah, that's why Nicole lives with her grandparents. Favorite family memory. My favorite family memory is when my baby sister was born. My mom had a lot of miscarriages before Kayla was born, and she was the biggest blessing to ever enter all of our lives. So Kayla being born, definitely my favorite memory. The last question actually is, why did I run away from home, and how do I now have the relationship I have with my family? I ran away from home because my family is very overprotective. And I was 18, or no, was I 17? I had just turned 18, and I just felt like they didn't trust me, which now looking back on it, I realize that they didn't trust the world is why they were so overprotective. But basically, I didn't run away from home. I was really tired of my parents being overprotective and telling me what to do all of the time. I had graduated close to 8 months early with extra credits. I was waiting to go to college. I was going out. I was having some fun, but I was always respectful. And I felt like they were giving me consequences all the time when I was a good kid. I felt like they were giving me the consequences of a kid that was bad, that was skipping school, that was doing drugs, that was drinking. I felt like they were giving me the consequences of someone who had given them a reason to be mistrusted. But I had never given them a reason to think that I was doing anything wrong. I never did anything wrong because I was too scared to. My parents are overprotective and they are very corporal punishment. I was too scared to do anything wrong, so obviously I wasn't doing anything wrong. So I had it, and I felt like I had to set boundaries, and I couldn't do it while I was living with them. So I took my one check that I had from working at Jamba Juice, I packed everything in my car that I could fit, and I drove to Texas and I left. And I think showing them that I had a backbone and that I respected them, I still called them, I still had a relationship with them, showing that I respected them, but that I also was not going to let them control the things that I did or that I wanted to do, really made them view me as an adult, which is what I wanted. I know at 18, you don't really have everything figured out. You're not truly an adult yet. I wasn't, but I wanted them to give me the opportunity to try and to learn. And because I was so sheltered, when I moved to Texas, I wasn't ready for adulthood. I didn't know how to be an adult. I didn't know how to pay bills. I was just sheltered and underprepared. And I'm glad that I did it because I had to figure things out. I had to figure adulting out. I had to figure student loans out. I had to figure everything out by myself. And I don't think I would be the person I am now if I would have stayed at home, because my parents would have just done it for me. So yeah, that's why I have such a great relationship with them, and I think that's because I established boundaries. And my parents are great people. We are great friends, and I still look to them for so much, and they take care of my dog. And yeah, I love my parents so much. You guys see that in the vlogs. I'd rather be with my parents than most people. I love being around them. I love my family, but I just had to establish a set of boundaries for myself. So yeah, this is a very long video. I might cut out a couple of questions. If you asked a question and it's not in this video, it's because I cut it out because it was long, but I will answer it in the podcast. So if you don't see your question in here, I did answer all 54, so I will put it on the podcast in upcoming episode. I want to thank you guys so much for taking your time to ask me so many questions. Yes, I'm my own screensaver. No, you can judge if you want. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I want to thank you so much. Obviously, please subscribe if you're new. If you're new, I'm sure you didn't watch this whole video, so I don't even know why I'm saying this. But until next time, remember to keep an open mind, keep an open heart, practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.